very pleased to introduce our student speaker, Shany, Computer Science, class of 2014. Shany grew up in many parts of the United States, including Maryland, San Jose, and ultimately ended up in Del Mar, near San Diego, where she attended Canyon Crest Academy. While attending UCSB, she was involved in various organizations, including the student chapter of the Association for Computing Machinery and UCSB's Women in Software and Hardware, or WISH, where she served as the president her senior year and was instrumental in building the membership and increasing outreach activities and creating networking opportunities for computer science and computer engineering students. During her time at UCSB, Shany has been very active in STEM-related outreach efforts in local schools. She was a science club teacher at Adelante Charter and Harding Elementary Schools in Santa Barbara, where she organized and implemented weekly after-school science programs for students. Additionally, she has served as a math teacher's assistant at San Marcos High School. In her spare time, Shany likes to paint. Would you please join me in welcoming Shany to the podium?
The Metamorphosis, from Caterpillar to College Graduate. Good afternoon, Chancellor, Deans, Administration, faculty, staff, families, friends, and class of 2014! In science and engineering, there is a theoretical concept known as the black box. This concept works as such. There's an input, you run the input through a black box, and you get an output. Through this process, you have no knowledge of the internal workings of this black box. You only know what you put in and what you get out. Now, let us use an analogy. Let's pretend that we entered college as caterpillars. The input. Our cocoon was college, the black box, and now we emerge as butterflies, the output. Today, I would like to share my metamorphosis with you and hope to inspire you to reflect on your transformation at UCSB as well. On our first day of freshman year, we were caterpillars. We had been born into this unfamiliar world of UCSB and began exploring our new habitat. I had hope in knowing that if we worked hard, one day we would transform into butterflies. This transformation did not happen overnight, and many obstacles arose along the way. One example of an obstacle for me was my coursework. After 2 grueling weeks of working on a project, I was sitting in the computer lab, 128.111.43.14 for those of you who speak nerd. There were 5 minutes left to my midnight due date. The assignment was difficult, and this was my first time programming. I was unable to turn in a completed assignment. Even though this course got off to a bad start, I didn't give up. As Thomas Edison said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. My solution was to utilize all the resources I had available. Office hours, tutoring, engineering clubs, CLES, and last but not least, YouTube University. I learned that as college challenges arise, it is important to use your resources as they provide you with a network of support. At times, I felt like I didn't belong in my major. I often heard remarks like, "You're an engineer? You don't look like an engineer." Despite doing well in my classes, I still felt that this was not the major for me. I had what is known as the imposter syndrome. I was convinced that my achievements were due to luck rather than my hard work. I felt that I didn't deserve my own success. After going to a tech talk through the computer science department about the imposter syndrome, I learned that you must fake it till you make it. I kept taking it day by day and finally came to the realization that I was unique, and this was the reason I felt so different. My solution was to embrace my individuality. I acquired strength through the support of my wonderful parents, Ima and Abba, my lovely brother and sister, and a club on campus, WISH, Women in Software and Hardware. Over time, I became more involved with WISH, and it felt like I had my own support group. As I worked with other women in technology fields, I realized I was helping others who were encountering the same struggles I once had. In my senior year, I was elected president of WISH and hoped to spread the excitement I felt when I first joined this club. My experiences in WISH allowed me to do meaningful work for myself and for the engineering community. Gauchos, I encourage you to become leaders for something you care about and become role models for your peers. We all came to UCSB for the same reason, to get an education. But what I didn't realize is that we are walking away with so much more. A Gaucho community. In light of the recent events, I can see how strong Isla Vista is and how much we care about one another. Class of 2014, here we are today, facing yet another milestone, stepping into the real world for the first time. We must learn from our previous experiences to know how to face the future. Life is a matter of perspective. The end of the world to a caterpillar is what the rest of the world calls a butterfly, according to Lao Tzu. Just as graduating college might seem like the end of our youth, the rest of the world sees it as a new beginning. Gauchos, we started as caterpillars and went through this big black box known as college. We are butterflies. All our moments, failures, and successes culminate to this. How are you going to measure your college experience? What was your black box? And where will you fly off to next? The transformation was rough, but we made it. You are about to enter another black box. Can't wait to see the output. Good luck, and thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shany. That is a true memory for all of us to carry with us. And now it is my special pleasure to introduce Jose M. Hernandez, our special guest speaker today. In 2004, Jose became the first migrant farm worker to become a NASA astronaut. An impressive achievement in itself. Jose's accomplishment is even more amazing when you realize the journey that he took to get there. Born into a migrant farm working family from Mexico, Jose, who didn't learn English until he was 12 years old, spent much of his childhood on what he calls the California circuit, traveling with his family from Mexico to California's southern San Joaquin.
Ramon Roberosa, Shany, Sivan Ron, David Borden, Alexander Hutrick, Andres Riofrio.
It's like the faculty club. It's meant closest to the faculty club.
מאבא הגאה. זה היה המתנה הנהדרת ביותר שיכול היה לבקש ל-Father's Day. הכל מצוין. הנה, שני מדברת עם שמחה.
אני, כמו שאמרתי לאמא, היא לא יכולה להסביר